start playing our game, not trying to see what the other team does and play with them. When you take a look at Elevate's roster on the flip side, these guys are great when it comes to power weapons, and they have some great slayers on their roster. Golden Boy, you've been around gaming for way too long. When it comes to having, when it comes to players that are just phenomenal with power weapons, how much of a necessity is it to focus on putting those weapons, such as a sniper rifle, in the hands of firearms?
Well, I mean, you got to look at it two ways, right? If you are Elevate, you want to ensure that if that weapon gets dropped on the map, depending on whatever it is their first choice is going to be, if they drop that weapon, they need to make sure that they get that weapon.
Yeah.
Time and time again. You know, when I was casting the Nimbus game against Rise, you know, Nimbus was throwing down Torque, and Rise knew that Nimbus wanted Torque, so they chased after it, ensured that they didn't get it. Now, granted, that game didn't go in Rise's favor, but the initials definitely did, and that kind of helped him to kind of keep that matchup competitive. That is going to be the same thing that they're going to have to do here.
Big time.
They need to ensure that they are keeping the weapons out of the hands of the players who dropped them.
Oh yeah, Matt Banson picks Impact for the first map, something I did not expect. Reclaim after that, and I believe Damn as the tiebreaker game. I thought I was going to see Impact twice there for a second. But Impact and Reclaim, two completely different maps back to back. It shows different play styles that these teams have in mind. On Impact, Fru, what type of gameplay are we expected to see? Is it going to be a big brawl or a lot of team fire?
I'm expecting it heavy down in the cockpit area.
Yeah.
Honestly, these teams are going to go head-to-head down there, and that's where the map's going to be sold. I expect heavy weapons down there as well, and maybe pull it back to the tail end for later on in the game.
So what about for predictions? Who do you think is going to come out on top here? Let's start off with Impact.
Impact, I'm going to Elevate. I have to bet on the Pro Pool team. They're there for a reason.
Okay.
And I think it's their time to shine. They've got some big names on that roster.
All right, and Blaze, on the other side, when you take a look at these Latin American teams, their weapon drops are extremely different than what we see in Europe and also Northern America. Do you think that they might have the upper hand with something?
You know, I don't think they got the upper hand. You got a lot of talent on that other side of Elevate. Both these teams are going to have to prove to us that they came to San Diego, that they're ready to play. They haven't won a single series all weekend long, but we're about to have one team that's going to be happy. The other team is going to be 0-3. The question is who? I'm going to put my money in on Elevate to come out on top. But this Fable Latam team, they can get it rolling as well.
All right, guys, and here we go. Golden Boy and God Blaze, take it away.
Thank you so much, Veli. And yes, it is now time to see who is going to be happy and who is going to be sad coming out of this one.
Gee, when is the last time we cast it? Was it Vegas?
Jesus, I don't... Yeah, well, I think it was Vegas. I think it was Vegas.
No, sometime in Vegas, definitely.
Then before that, it was like one of those Twitch broadcasts that I produced or something like that. It's been a hot minute, man.
Hey, that's where it all starts, right? You know, it starts in your house. You know, you put on a little stream, and then you cast it and using your spectator mode and hoping somebody notices you.
Yeah.
But in this one, it's Elevate versus Fable Latam. And, you know, Yogurt's going to be dead. Both teams fighting for some map control, so Domes is actually going to take out, you know, Reflames. And so he's going to get that Cactus Hill up. Still, just a slow pace. No power weapons on the map in this round number one.
Yeah.
You know, actually, I haven't seen nobody else. It has to be another big fight going on this map somewhere, because I feel like I haven't seen anybody but that 1v1 fight.
Yeah.
And now we're going to get some of these Fable players off respawn.
Yeah, it seems like there was just a lot of activity going on at the home flags here, the home hills.
Yeah.
But that is why Domes just had a lot of time by himself over to kind of reflect on what he wants to do here, and he wants to get himself a double. So that's going to keep things going here. Beautifully played there for Elevate from Prospect on the Fable Latam side. Answered back with two of his own before being cleaned up by Crushmo.
Now Crushmo, he's going to start to try to push this one out. He's going to get some help. Nice bait and switch action. Back up. Make sure you can kind of secure your two caps. Kind of pull away with a slow lead. So Elevate, they got good real estate, they got good map control. We're gonna slowly start to see Fable Latam start to group up, try to push this area like we like to call it, top to, over here on tables. So they push, they're grouping up, looking to push out. But Elevate, just when I thought they were ready for this push to happen, they give up so much real estate. And this is what, if you get map control, you have to keep it. And you wanna be pressed up on your opponent's side of the map. As Fable Latam started running down those stairs, Elevate had a lot of sight lines. It wasn't too many areas in which those players can go, but they gave it up. it's looking like they're still going to keep control of it. So in the end, they still win that team.
Yeah, but see, if it was against any other team in that situation, that's where you got to be a little cautious, right? Fable Latam, I mean, they are a good squad. They made it this far in the competition, but let's not get ahead of ourselves here, right? If they were to do that against the likes of an Optic or an Echo Fox, they lose full control. That's it, right? They could potentially even lose the round by domination because they just gave up so much, as you said, real estate plays. But now it will be Hez on your screen. He will have some support here as the push happens by C. They're going to try and see if they can pin them over by the home. This is going to be that first round, so the respawns are going to be coming very quickly, but I don't think it's going to matter all that much considering that they're forcing him right around that corner. Lyrics just got pinned between a rock and a hard place. That was it.
Q said, don't hit my hand that hard, okay? I got to shoot still as well.
Watch yourself.
That's the one thing. In my lifetime, I had a few teammates who just give super hard handshakes for no apparent reason. It's just like, come on now. We still got to shoot. You want to win. I don't want to hear you complain when I start missing shots.
Yeah, right.
All right.
They seem to be having a grand old time up there. Hasn't just lost his dang mind.
You got to make the best of it because at this point, both teams have already accepted for the fact that they're going to the losers bracket. You know, the question is which side of the losers bracket they're going on, but even that still does not matter because there's still a lot of teams on that winner side that hasn't been placed in that bracket. At this point, what you want to see from Elevate is, you kind of heard Q in that interview beforehand just talking about how, hey, the previous night we went over some things, we fixed our mistakes. Today we're trying to implement everything that we talked about, and we're going to see in this matchup how cleanly can they win this one. If we're going to see what type of adjustments they are going to make, because if Elevate comes out with, let's say, a 14-5 score line on this one, I think that's a good win for them. That's going to be good for their confidence, and that's the start of a good losers bracket run in the making.
And Fable for them, Fable Latam wants to just prove that they belong in this kind of a scenario, right?
Yeah.
They belong here in the pools, and that is going to be their mission to kind of prove everyone wrong and get that win off of Elevate, get a little bit more of a boost going into that losers bracket. But action on the screen, though, we have Rocher as he's looking around here, just trying to navigate around that home hill, and he is going to get pincered in just a little bit, so he needs to try and stay up as long as he can, but will be downed in turn. Meanwhile, Rel would be there for the support. Prospects down low as well, and this is at the very least, they're getting teammates up, they're getting some support, they are able to defend this. Elevate wasn't able to push up in time.
And that's the difficult thing about Impact, that home hill, with it being so far in that open, as players try to push up those stairs, break that hill, you can get crossed out by those players coming off respawn. It's just a big open area. It's very, very difficult to get trip caps on a map like Impact. So I do expect for us to have a lot of rounds that may go down to time. We're going to see soon. But Yogurt will fall, and now you're going to have Fable Latam. They're going to have two heals in their favor. They can definitely come back, and they have plenty of time taking the lead with these two heals in their favor. And so the question is, let's see what their next moves are going to be. And they're just going to back up a little bit, protect their home hill. They notice that Elevate has gotten aggressive on their home hill plenty of times already. So just spreading out the map and say, all right, ball's in your court. Let's see what you want to do.
Yeah, right. But this is the problem that they had in that last round where, or I should say, the Elevate had in that last round, where they were trying to play that zone. They were trying to own a little bit more of the map there, and then they ended up just caving right away. Even though they won the round, it still wasn't the prettiest of retakes. Whereas now, Fable Latam, they just need to ensure that they don't allow Elevate to do the same thing here. And Lyrics, though, is going to get absolutely chunked by Domes. The fight now ensues down low, and maybe Autens can find one. Yes, he's going to get the kill onto Heza, but two more players of Elevate are going to stand there, and Relamius is going to be able to take out one. Autens is going to go for the double, and that is going to hold things down by B. And while Rel was not able to win out on C, still, though, time on the side of Fable Latam.
Yeah, they went off of one at this point, Fable Latam, and nobody's going to be close to these home hills. So it's going to be Fable Latam actually coming out on top and getting around on the board. So we're going to end up seeing what does Elevate want to put down for their weapon selection. Put it in this one. Fable Latam, hey, they stay consistent. They got one on the board. Get this momentum up, and let's make this a good game.
Fable keeping this one close here, all tied up. This has been two fairly long rounds, I would imagine.
Yeah, they've definitely been long rounds, and we're going to have a few more of those, especially on Impact. It's just based off the structure of how those home hills work out, and you kind of see them. They're just in open spaces down there on that mini map. But the one thing is, I do love when teams like to fight for the boom shot at that weapon slot on the tail end of that map. That just comes down to like a classic, maybe like clock tower fight on an old Gears of War map that I just love how it plays out, because the team that throws the best smokes, the best team fire is usually the team that kind of comes out on top and wins those fights. But we will see that hammer burst get placed down, and that's going to have a big impact on that fight over there at that B hill on statue, because you're going to have a player. We're a pinpoint on when we get the players over there in that area. It's going to be a guy sitting inside of a pocket, right? And from that pocket, he's going to have that hammer burst. It's just going to be putting that support fire down for his team as they try to fight for those incense that's on the map. And so that's going to end up being a 3v3 fight now.
That's going to be Firearm grabbing that hammer burst for his squad. Meanwhile, Fable, no one has gone for it quite yet. So you have to imagine that Firearm's going to try and take full advantage of this. You see him get the angles as well, and that is putting a lot of shots into Rel that actually forces him back. I think Rocher is also going to be feeling the brunt of that as well. Domes needs to make a play. Heza and Yogurt are just on cleanup duty, and B goes to Elevate. Very well done.
Very, very, very well done.
And the domination.
Elevate.
And the domination, and he cannot get in time. And that is going to be Elevate taking that one very quickly.
All right, quick response there by Elevate. They're going to need a few more of those rounds. 5 more to be exact to win the map. Let's see what Fable want to put down. And you know, it's just coming down and just trying to see characteristics for these teams, especially going to that losers bracket. You know, they got a long road ahead of themselves, because from this point on, it's, you know, focusing on the champ bracket on the main stage, and we'll see if either one of these teams can make it the distance when they get to that point. You know, but as these guys are going to start making their weapon selection, looking for it, and it's looking like they're going to go for a block on that tail end soon. Picking it, yeah, it is going to be a block on the tail. All right, so both teams, so that just means that the focal point is still going to be that B hill, right? Because you got nades over there, you got the hammer burst, so we're still going to go back to those 3v3 fights on that side. Also, we'll have a 1v1 mid-map as this guy starts to cut. So you're looking at your mini-map, have 3 players kind of going towards the top side of your mini-map. They're going to work together. Also, you got one guy capping a home hill on both teams, and a 1v1 that's going to be cutting mid-map to try to get a pinch on this fight of tables. And it's going to be Crushmo for the side of Elevate. Yeah, so he got a sight line, but Prospect on the other end is trying to counter him and play that man-on-man with him.
Incendiaries go over to Fable Latam, and they're just getting the kills here, man. They're setting them back to the respawn, and not what you want to see if you're Crushmo in this situation, to see 3 of your teammates just die one after the other. Recognizing that you just got to get out of dodge there, and this is not going to be a good spot to be in, simply because he has to defend.
Yeah, he just got pushed out. That was a good 1v2 for Fable, you know, working together, using that numbers advantage. Now they decap the hill, and they're bringing the pressure, but the question is, where's the rest of the team at? I see all 5 players on my screen, but that means that B hill is going to be open. Nobody's watching that, so Elevate can get over there super quickly. But if you're on Fable Latam, just bring a 5v5 team fight on top of this home hill, force them to come to you. Now all these players are like, we have no time to go to B. They have to fight this fight now. They have to win it, and they're not going to be able to, G.
They just stacked that home hill on C so well. Just a rush there, man. They chased that down. They saw the advantage. They saw the window of opportunity. And now that Fable Latam are getting a couple wins, here comes the trash talk.
And that's one thing that I do love about Rocher, is that he's a loud one, okay? He'll let you have it. Especially, you know, back in the days when he used to play a lot more games on that main stage in Season 1. You know, he definitely was the main vocals on that Splice roster back then. But now I do want to see a big weapon on the map. I want to see something for both these teams to fight for, win those team fights, make these dominations a little bit easier. The question is, what's that going to be? Do you want to put nades again? That could, you know, this is typically a nade spot, right? You typically don't see big 3v3 fights coming down to this area fighting for those boom shots.
Especially considering the tail was blocked off too.
Yep, so they're gonna say, hey, we're just gonna keep putting nades down. But so now that was the last weapon selection in this first half. So, but when we get to that round 6, we'll be able to remove one of the other weapons off that map. So if they want to go to that tail end, or if they want to go to where those instants are, they can take them off the map and put something else down. Also, just as a reminder, you only can put a weapon down once, okay, in a half. So the blocks and the nades have been used, so it will be a big power weapon going down in round 6.
Elevate looking for that victory here, give him a little bit of that lead, and then maybe be able to take advantage of it going into the half. On board there with Rocher, though, who has the incendiaries and has chucked them, so it doesn't get much value out of both of them. But that is actually going to pin Firearm a little bit, but he's just going to have to run away there. There was a path for him to get out of that. Because of that, he was able to go back to his teammates, but now you're starting to see that rush happen again. Fable Latam, and wow, great grenades there from Audens. That is going to just absolutely shut them down, and he's letting them know.
Threw one to the left, one to the right, but like I said, this is a game for both these teams to build up that momentum going into that losers bracket. They've already accepted the fact that that's their fate. They're going there, but you at least want to go in with some momentum, some confidence to know that, hey, we just got 3 Odin pools. You know, this event is the worst one.
Yep.
You need to try to just create a better headspace.
And that first round where Elevate were laughing and joking and getting all happy and everything like that, that ain't happening anymore.
Nah, it's all fun and games. So you get your, so you just get your butt whooped.
Yeah,
a few
exactly.
times. Simple as that. You know.
All right, so Elevator maybe contemplating the long shot placement. Long shot goes mid.
All right, so yeah, they had to replace something off. They're just gonna put a snipe. No big power weapons on this one. Especially in this region, in the North American region, when it comes down to Latin America, North America, these teams on this map, you typically don't see like the big booms or the drops. If anything, maybe an M-bar where the instants are currently, but in the EU region, we see a lot of boom shots on that tail end, and that's why I love watching teams like Space Station play this and Lucent, because you get that boom fight, and I just feel like this map plays out so much better when you have that focal point on the other end to fight for.
First blood is going to go to Fable Latam as they take out Domes, who's going to be off the respawn. You know those respawns are going to be so long at this point. 2 players have been lost, and now things are starting to look pretty gloomy here for Elevate. So they're getting forced in. Good shot onto Crushmo. Takes him out, actually, but Lyrics kills his own teammate by mistake. Maybe that's going to be the opportunity that they were looking for, but Autens is there to shut it down. Dome's off the respawn. Not there quickly enough.
Is that 4 straight rounds, I believe?
I do believe so.
Yeah, I think that's 4.
No, 3 straight rounds.
3 straight rounds. Okay, 3 straight rounds for him. And so that's just that's Fable. Just getting the ball rolling, man. Just trying to snowball in this map number 1. Like I said, it was all fun and games when Elevate won that round 1, but now Fable's here. So, folks, we are going into halftime, so those power weapons will be wiped off the map. Respawn timers dropping back down to 12 seconds. In those lower respawn rounds, that's where Elevate got the most of their victory. So we'll see if that's going to play a part in that once again. See if they can get some of these earlier rounds and kind of tie this up 4-4.
Fable Latam have been looking very, very good so far in the beginning of this game, and I don't think a lot of people gave them the time of day. And now that Yogurt, though, has won that out, he can provide some of that cover fire across map as his teammates engage with the Nasher. Firearm takes our Rocher, but they're still going to have to back up. No one has taken control of the home yet, but points are being accrued only for Elevate, who have control of that neutral in the middle. And now we're starting to see a different Elevate here, but this is kind of like what we ended up seeing at the beginning of the game, right? When it was a 12-second respawn, beginning of the game, no weapons on the map. Elevate obviously came into this with a lot more confidence. So but then as things got placed, as some things started to go poorly.
So typically in the second half of Impact, we see more of a home hill focus rather than hold the home hill, hold the neutral hill, which was, typically A and B or C and B. On this side, it's all about holding both home hills, the D and F. That setup has a higher percentage of just locking it down, and this is the area of the home hills, and just the terrain, the height advantage, the close quarters. Teams, they don't mind that fight. They don't mind holding you off of your spawn as you're trying to push up, and that's exactly what Fable's doing, right? They're pressed up against the spawn of Elevate and says, yeah, we're going to keep you in the back of that spawn. We're going to lock your home hill and just make this an annoying fight. That's exactly what they're doing, and it's kind of working out for Fable as of right now, but they need to make sure that they can at least get their home hill back in the process.
Also, I do want to give a shout out to Fable Latam there for being able to hold D down the way that they did. They were flanked from behind. There was a moment where I thought that they could have lost control of that. But now, though, Fable Latam, they want to see if they can make this domination happen. And you have Elevate fighting with everything they have out of that D hill. Now they got to march out of here. But they were in a really, really tough pickle just a little while ago.
They really were. but they find a way to get themselves out of that corner, try to get some map control. They're going to have a big fight at E. They're actually going to be, it's actually 3v3. You're going to have a few of these players from Fable Latam actually try to get down and break into this E hill. A few of them dropping back because it's Elevate who's controlling this area, controlling those power positions, controlling the angles, and they're going to force Fable Latam out of that position. Now, you look at the scoreboard, Elevate can win off of 2. They just need to lock down this setup. And Fable Latam, they're putting the pressure off on the home hills, so this is a good push, but they got to win the gunfights. And Crushmo, he manages to get 2, and he gets some help from his teammates as well. So that 2-hill advantage goes back in favor of Elevate.
Yeah, you said that, Fable, they need to be able to win those gunfights. That has been the one thing that here and there, it's been, you know, a brief moment of greatness, but they have struggled with it, especially in those clutch-up situations there. Rel's going to get taken out there. That's going to potentially force the domination as they got to push over to the home. Domes is blocking this one with the Lancer. Domination was denied. That was going to be over at the F side, but they are able to get the kill, and it won't really matter because they have the point control. They have the points on the board, and even though it was domination, if it wasn't that, they were going to win by points anyway.
Yeah, they were. Wasn't much else that Fable Latam can do, but now I'm curious that, okay, this is going to be your first weapon placement in the second half. Make it worth it, you know? They didn't have no big power weapon fights on the first half, but in their mindset, they're like, hey, you know, it worked out fine. We won 4 of those rounds at the end. Let's not do anything too crazy. So I expect them to keep it light, maybe put down some nades, but you can also focus down on the tail end of the map, you know, because it's a hill down there. It's that E hill. You have to fight for it. You know, that's going to be a big fight, and they're going to go right for that block. They was like, yeah, we don't want nothing there. And I respect it because that's a staticky fight. If you put a boom there or a drop shot, if you don't practice that, then you shouldn't be fighting over there because the team with the most practice is going to come out on top just because your smoke placements have to be intricate. You can try to do it on the fly and say, hey, we're going to go there, but you need to make sure that all your players know exactly where to throw those smokes, who's going down there, and your timing have to be right in order to contest with a good team in that area.
You have to be able to have a plan here, especially at this level of play at the Gears Pro circuit. So far, though, no first blood quite yet, as Audens is putting down a lot of cover fire, and Lyrics is able to pick up the kill onto Yogurt. Firearms getting tagged up and chased as well, which will lead to his demise there. Heza with the stop on to Rel, and then you also just have 3 members of Elevate coming up at that moment and just crushing it. But granted, though, this has been very much a back and forth affair. No one has really had a firm grasp of this quite yet. Despite that, though, Elevate does have a slight lead.
Yeah, they got the slight lead, but no team really like, okay, they're controlling this one. We saw, you know, Fable Latam, you know, kind of chain together, you know, what, 4 of the last 5 rounds that they had played before this half, and it was like, okay, they're looking good. They're looking good, looking like they're going to start streaking on this one. Let's see if they can pull out on this round. Currently, it's Elevate with that home hill setup I talked about earlier. It's that D hill and that F hill. It's just better. You know, it's just better to lock down that top end of the map. Also, typically, it's a lot of weapon spawns over there. It's 2. Actually, I take that back. It's 4 weapon spawns, which you kind of control in that setup as well. So if it's a Markster by those home hills, you're controlling 2 Marksters, 2 Botox, nades, the power weapons. It just works out so much.
And a big battle's happening here as Domes was taken out. 3 members now of Fable Latam have been able to secure their home, but the neutral goes to Elevate. Still very much in control in this one. Points-wise, they're looking really good. Fable Latam is really going to have a crazy comeback here if they're going to want to win this one by points, or you just go for that straight domination. You just have to have the denials in the appropriate spots. But
yeah, you know what, have all your players spawn up. Okay, make sure you got 5 up. Try to lock down a 2-hill setup. Then from that point, you're going to find yourself in a stalemate, and you make one final push to get, once you get tabs on your opponent, you know where all their players are, make that one final push just to decap their home hill in those last few seconds, and you can kind of come out with it. So on that process, Fable Latam, they at least have to get their opponent's home hill back. So maybe push it across towards D. You see some players already in a few engagements over there, but also you got these players defending their home hill. They're backing up because he's like, hey, we need to defend the F hill. Can't push just yet. So they kind of spread out. But Lyrics, he's going to back up, playing his life. And yeah, just wait for reinforcements to come.
Yeah, they have the, I mean, look, they know that they need to be able to come back into this one. They know that Elevate just need to hold the one if they want to win. So that could potentially put Elevate in a really tough situation if they're able to cap this quickly enough and then clear out the kills. Problem is, they are very far from being able to make that engagement happen. 5 seconds left before they're able to get that, and that is simply not going to be the case here. Elevate will take that round, and they just needed to move a little bit faster, and things just didn't work out for them at the absolute wrong time.
Yeah, it didn't work out for them at all. Fable Latam, they need to at least get a few more players over towards the top side of that map. At the bottom of that home hill stairs, they need at least 2-3 more players over there. Grouped up a while ago, but they just did not have enough time to get players in position, so you had to make a few sketchy pushes at the end, just to try to, you know, just a little prayer to make something happen. You know, maybe possibly you get a miracle and your opponent misses every shot that they shoot, you know, something along those lines. But in this one, you look at it, it's Heza with 22 kills, leading the kill feed for Elevate. See if he can get some more on the board to give Elevate a lead.
You got a torque bow as well in the cockpit, so maybe
okay,
that will open up Fable Latam to...
Yeah, there you go, right there. Now you see how both these teams, they got something to fight for. It's going to be a clean 3v3 fight over there. But also, you want to see who wants to get that power weapon and put it to use. Big double kill for Elevate. That's going to be 3 for them, 4 for them. That's going to be a clean white.
Wow.
Power weapon is going to be picked up as well.
Firearm had the hot hand that game. He ended up taking out 3 of the members of Fable Latam, and that is going to give Elevate the lead. They were struggling going into the half, but this half has been all red everything. They have been controlling Impact.
Yeah, they have been, and they need to just keep it up. You know, when power weapons get placed on the map, you know, you just get more consistency out of at least one of the 2 teams, just because the fact is like, all right, we know it's going to be, you know, a constant 3v3 fight or 4v4 fight over here, and as every round passes, you're just making those slight adjustments to, you know, become that much better, you know? Just make sure that you got your IGLs in those team fights so they can help you pinpoint, hey, your smoke was a little short, or you need to make sure that, you know, you need to just come on through and get those kills. So let's see in this one. Gonna be on board with Heza. Has it smoke out. There's gonna be 2 players from Elevate trying to make that push from mid-map. They're gonna have Lyrics in front of them. Power weapon picked up as well. Also, Instincts get picked up, so they're gonna split on both teams. Fable Latam has the torque bow, Elevate has the Incense.
Who's gonna get that first blood here, and it's gonna actually be a trade as far as player count is concerned. Now we're in that 4-4 here. Players are gonna be out of action for a little bit. And I like this, man. Elevate, they're grouping up together. They're looking to push advantages when they can. But Fable Latam was aware. They were waiting for it because they hear the torque bow. They don't want to expose themselves and make a bad play.
All right. Oh, that's a clean shot. You can hit that one. He's second guessing himself. Oh. But so actually I'm wrong on that one, because on that angle, I guess it was just too far down where he hit the edge, but it looked good. It looked good from this end. Just couldn't get it.
On paper, it looked good. Maybe, just
slightly. Now Lyrics, he's gonna push in, not able to, he gets some shots in on this engagement, reinforcements coming through, so he's gonna back up, slowly start to get his health regen, now gonna bait his teammate, gets the meat shield as well, but now just needs to hit these shots. He's gonna get flanked though, and that flank should be able to clean up those 2 kills, and that's gonna be a flank from Firearm. Now Elevate, pushing forward. You still got the torque bow. It's going to be spawned up in 45 seconds, but those incense is going to be up in 10 seconds. So you need to make sure that if you got a coach that, you know, he's getting those timers. Yeah, and if you don't got a coach, you need at least that one player on your team dedicated. Whoever is usually typically the person who's playing in that position. So that would be Prospect. Prospect on the side of Fable Latam needs to say that, hey, incense are up. We need to go grab them.
Another potential domination here for Elevate. They got to go in there and challenge, but no one is there to stop it, and that is going to be yet another round win for Elevate. 4 in a row. They are now at match point.
Right. So let's see. Off the weapon selection, what does Fable want to put down? They've been blocking the tail end of the map a lot, so we got a few weapon selections towards the top end. I'm going to assume that they're going to go for the dual weapons. Those secondary weapons. Maybe they put a Boltok down.
Oh, Hammerburst worked out very well for them before if they wanted to do that.
They might be hovering over it. Yeah, it might go right back to that Hammerburst of Boltok. Oh, okay,
something-
Marks. There we go. Something
I mean,
different.
you get the headshot potential out of the Marks as well.
Exactly.
But, you know, I think that just, again, just opens things up for Elevate more so than I think Fable.
All right. So now off this opening initial, let's actually turn off that X-ray mode a little bit and just kind of see what's going to happen from this player's perspective. Now, we won't be able to see, you know, the opponents. You know, we won't have that X-ray mode to see them behind the walls or whatever and whatnot. But in this one, we're going to be able to see it from that player's perspective. Prospect's going to get that smoke down. And so far, only accounting for one of these players. At that point, hey, he's going to try to take some shots for his teammate, try to see if they can get that quick pick on that twerk bow with a player coming right through that smoke, flanking them through mid-map. But hey, they still have the man advantage, and they're going to get that twerk bow.
Able to pick up the power weapon here, and maybe
crawl in the flame.
Yeah, you don't want to do that one. No one wants to pull a summon.
But now, that Marksa. That headshot potential, but as Firearm was trying to aim for him, he was getting shot at by the Marksa from the side of Fable, but not able to, you know, trade heads there on that one. But the trip cap domination was coming through, but that was Alton's just, you know, a little aggressive on the side of Fable's home hill.
Nice plays there out of Fable Latam to try and keep themselves very much in this matchup, make this one as competitive as possible. They are not out of it at all. This is still a very close game. It just happens to be that Elevate have been on a hot streak, so a decent start for Fable Latam. It's going to keep them very much in the action here. They do have the lead, and Elevate now are going to start accruing points, but I mean, look at that lead that Fable Latam have been able to gain thus far. That is sizable, to say the least.
Yeah, definitely a big lead at this point, but I'm still not sure if you can just win off of one
No,
kill.
I don't think you can.
You probably can, because it's going to take them a while to, it's going to take them definitely a while to come back on you, but
so much can happen within this time.
it really is. So in this one, on board with Prospect, this E-Hill will get decapped. It's going to go back in the hands of Fable Latam. So definitely with them having a 2-hill advantage at this point, they can come out and win this round and get closer to tying this up. Oh, the instant, it just clipped the top. If it goes over, it may have enough arch to land right on top of that home hill. Maybe force those players out. You may get a splash damage kill.
Yeah, and that's, if you were able to get that, I mean, with the utility, that is just, you know, an added bonus without a doubt. Heza's going to be in a battle, though. Over by the tail. Can Heza come out on top? It's actually going to end up being a trade there. They have 3 members down for Fable Latam versus the 1 on Elevate. Now is the time where you go and you take advantage of it. Rocher is going to be the LMS. He's going to be the one, the hero that they need to win this battle out, but he is going to go down. Players off of the respawn as well. He doesn't have anyone there to pick him up. Maybe could have been able to win that one by himself, but I stand corrected. There was a teammate behind him. He just needed to play that forward position. Elevate are going to get game number 1 on Impact. That was their pick.
They knuckle up. They knuckle up and they get the job done in those later rounds. Fable Latam, they started to pick up a little steam. Had a little heat in that matchup, but just couldn't, you know, couldn't execute. And they're going to be down 1-0 in this series.
Execution definitely was the focus right here. When it came to capturing the middle hill, Fable, they were unable to do so. And what resulted in that?
I mean, it was just the first player down there.
Yeah.
Pretty much Elevate were consistently capturing that middle hill, and then across the whole map.
Yeah.
The team that controlled that neutral hill first were, you know, statistically winning the round.
You're gonna win, especially on that map, because the double home hill setup isn't ideal because of the spawn location.
Yeah, it also played in the hands of the weapons as well. We had a lot of nades on there, a lot of control, area control weapons. So it was helpful for the teams that got those two.
So you and we saw a player that was struggling. His name is Prospect, but you said he didn't look like such a prospect, right?
Yeah, I don't think the scouts will be watching him much longer. He's 4 and 15 at round 10. Incendiary choke on that last round. For me, he's the guy that needs to step up going forward.
Yeah.
Definitely does. You gotta pick up those numbers. You know, this is just one of those weird matches at the end of our pool. You know, both teams, they kind of know their fate. You're going to the loser bracket. It's just fighting for position and just getting that momentum, getting something started, because you haven't won a game throughout pools. You know, the only team that's won a game. The only team that's won a game on that main stage is Fable Latam, and that was all their open bracket matches, and that's it. And hey, it's just nothing up, and I'm ready for this champ bracket.
Oh yeah, speaking of champ bracket, on the other side of losers bracket, just an update. Fire and Ice will be playing FYC in losers round 1. A lot of these teams are playing to not wind up in that losers bracket, because once you wind up there, you know, you're one and done if you lose.
Also, it's a lot of good talent there as well,
Great
too.
talent.
You know, if you haven't won a game, going against some of those open bracket teams who have constantly got a few wins under their belt so far this weekend, that's a bad situation to be in.
Oh yeah, so heading into map 2, we're gonna go there to see some more Gears of War action, but first, I say we learn a little bit more about the Latin American Fable roster.
Being a Latam player means a lot to me because, you know, in our scene, you know, I've been playing Gears since Gears 1. I've been trying to prove myself since Gears 1. When you live in Mexico and you're a Latin player, you cannot go to all those events in NA or Europe. For me, I'm living this experience right now. Being a Latin player is I'm proud of it.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the Fable Latam team. They're fighting to get their first win so far here in pool play. But we're going to send this all to Reclaim, so God Blaze and Golden Boy, go ahead and take it away.
Thank you so much, fellas. Yes, Reclaim, game number 2. Can Elevate close this one out 2-0?
This map is going to have a lot more structure than we saw off the first map on Impact. Reclaim, we're going to see some boom shots on this map. We're going to see a lot of snipers, some nades. We got 2 dual spawns there for those support weapons as well. Reclaim's going to get super sweaty, but we're going to have a lot more action than we had in Impact.
Here we go. Let's see how the break is going to happen. Pretty standard here. You got one player going for the home, and then you're going to have the fights by the steps, and then, of course, the big battle that's going to happen at the bowl for B. Your first round here on Reclaimed. Will Elevate just be able to take control of this game the way they were able to take control of that last round?
And you know what, this is, you see Reflame, he's gonna push up towards the apples. And now folks, we call it apples because there's apples right there to the left. But you know, if you can get aggressive, you saw the clean sight line that he had on his opponent's side of the stairs going up to bowl, right? Just putting some pressure on your teammates. This is a very crucial point on this map that you want to be able to control. But in those fights, you're gonna have Elevate come out on top and win them, and now they're already playing for that trip cap domination. This is a map that they played probably 1,000 times. They're not gonna let their foot off the gas. We're gonna see a lot of early trip cap dominations in this one. The best team's gonna come out, definitely.
And that is going to be Elevate for round number 1, domination. And now you're starting to see that Elevate that we saw at the beginning of Impact, you know, a couple smiles, have some conversation about what's going on in the game. They're feeling pretty confident. And, well, you know, just to kind of reiterate, right, both of these teams will be going to that loser's bracket no matter what. Yep. So at this point now, this is a matchup for bragging rights, but most importantly,
but also some placing in that loser's bracket, because you lose this, you're further back in that loser's bracket. And I think this one, you might be in like a top 16 position if you win this game. And then, you know, you win one more game and you're in the money at that point, you know? Right. So that's big, winning that one more game compared to winning 2 more games to get to that money. You know, definitely a better position if you win this.
The path becomes a lot harder if you lose this game. Who's going to be able to get that first blood here, though? Firearm taking some damage, but it's Crushmo who gets the double kill in the bowl, forces everyone back. You see Fable just running away. They have no bodies to support them there. Prospect's going to be down and out. They get the cleanup kills, and now the player's coming off the spawn, but they're so far away. They just need to Lancer them out.
Yeah, they had some, you know, Fable Latam had a few players sneak behind enemy lines. That was Lyrics, but he's going to finally fall. So that home hill's going to get capped up, but now you're going to have to still bring that focus back to the home hill of Fable Latam. So keeping the pressure. So Firearm, he's not going to lead his position. He knows his teammates are there. They're going to have his back, get a meat shield, get some shots in. The rest of the unit to be there soon.
Oh, wow.
Trip cap domination coming out. Nobody there for Fable Latam to kind of stop that, and that's going to be 2 quick rounds.
I mean, you saw it happen from the beginning. The second that Crushmo got those 2 kills, that just set the tone for that entire game. Fable were just constantly playing off the back foot at that moment. They needed to regroup, but the problem was every single time they wanted to regroup, they had to send a lone body into the hill to break it, to stop that domination from happening, never getting an opportunity to be able to rally, and because of that, they end up falling 2 rounds very, very quickly, and those respawns are only getting longer, Blaze.
All right. So let's see in this one. So that boom shot went down right away. I told you, this is gonna be a super staticky map. So we got the nades and a boom shot on the map. So early on, when you get that boom shot, that's gonna force us into a 3v3, 4v4 fight. We call it second half initials because in the second half, the home hill is down there, and this is the main area of the map. But it's all about where those big heavy power weapons are, where the boom shots and the drop shots are. That's gonna dictate the pace of the fight and where the fight's gonna be located. But now, boom shot's gonna be in the hand of Elevate. You're gonna have 2 members down on the side of Fable Latam. Let's see, you get this boom shot, you gotta rotate it back up top so you can kind of control this bow area, especially if you can't get the kills early on to get that early domination. So they know it's gonna be a reset. They just wanna make sure that the nades and boom are both gonna be in position.
The nades from Lyricso gets the kill onto Heza, and Lyricso not going to be long for this world. We'll have a teammate there to pick up. Firearm is going to go down, and I think he used only one of the shots on that boom, so that means it ends up getting pocketed. Yeah, it ends up getting pocketed, but that means it doesn't play a role in this round right now. Fable Latam putting the pressure onto Elevate. Let's see how they bounce back.
Yeah, and I was gonna say he did end up shooting both boom shots, but in the end it still didn't matter. They wasn't able to get anything else from it. It was Fable Latam Lyric specifically using those nades to defend that bow push that came in from Elevate with that boom shot. But now Elevate's, they're gonna find some footing. They're gonna get themselves back control over their home hill as well. That new boom shot's gonna be up in less than a minute. So now both these teams have to start focusing down low. Yeah, the neutral hill's up top, but you gotta think big picture. Get boom shot, use the boom shot to get the last 2 hills.
Also, another thing to keep in mind, too, is that Elevate are not gaining any points right now. It is all Fable Latam. They have B, they have A, they have nothing to worry about here points-wise, but they need to get the kills and be able to secure themselves that boom shot when it comes up in just a little bit. That being said, though, finally, Domes is going to be able to pick up B, but the lower end of the map is going to go to Fable Latam for the time being.
All right, so Dome's gonna have control over bows. So you gotta recognize, though, nades and boom shot are both on the map, and they're both on 2-minute timers. So new boom got picked up, so those nades should be available. Dome's gonna have to end up picking them up. He's gonna have to work quickly, though. If he wants to take this 1v1, he needs to take it now, and he recognizes that he has no time to waste on his guy, but reinforcements do come, and now he's about to get angled out. But I do believe those nades are sitting right on top of that B hill as well.
Yep, he just managed to pick them up as well, so he can try and zone them out here, bring his team back into the game, but the points are gaining. Elevate could just win off of this one
And even if he dies with those nades in his hand, he could kind of self-detonate them, probably take one to the grave, but if you do know that you're in a difficult situation and you're gonna die, at least pocket those nades.
Now the pressure's on. Audens has the boom.
Elevate.
Protecting A.
Elevate needs this.
Elevate need this one big time here. And Audsons is backing up, waiting for it.
He got flanked.
They need to push it now, but the boom shot's actually going to be out, though. And Domes is able to get it. Can they push into that hill in time? They are going to be able to make it into A, and now that's actually going to stop things for the time being. But the boom shot is going to wipe the floor with Elevate, and that is going to be Fable's first win.
At first, I thought it was the boom that died first on that flank.
I thought it was.
Yeah, I thought it was the boom. Yeah, I thought it was the boom that died first on that flank.
Well, actually, I think it was. I think because Audsons had it and he dropped back inside, and then he died, and then that's when Rel was able to pick it up.
But in the end, it was Fable Latam to get a round on the board. So I'm curious on what the weapon placement is going to be. It's got to be something in those dual spots down low, because, hey, get that extra utility to help you fight for that boom. Put something down for your team to use. Question is, what is it going to be? Boltog? Hammerbirds? Maybe if you block. Oh, okay. That's a heavy secondary weapon. That's going to be that Retro Lancer. I'm curious on who's going to end up picking that up on the side of Elevate. But if you have a player on your team who can really control the recoil of that, it's going to be very, very useful for your team. When you think Lancer versus Retro Lancer, think AR versus AK. You know, that Retro Lancer is going to do a lot of damage, but you got to be able to control it. And yep, that's going to be Yogurt and Prospect.
Not surprising there. And Audsons moves in and immediately gives Heza the hands there. Crushmo is not going to be able to go toe-to-toe, and that is going to be another boom shot victory for Fable Latam.
Those nades are still up top, and Domes recognize that, so he gets the nades. He should get this cap. but he needs to toss those 2 nades very quickly to try to hold off this push. But knowing that that Retro Lancer pushed up to what we like to call is that gate area, you can see through that gate with that Retro Lancer, get a lot of clean shots and down anybody attempting to cap that hill. Dome recognizes that. He says, you know what, let me secure these nades, let my team spawn up, and we'll make a team push up top. Once we get tabs on where that boom is, where these players are going, no team has 10 points just yet. So it's plenty of time for both of them to kind of slow play it for a little bit.
Domes is going to be the player to watch here. You don't want him to lose out with those grenades, and he chucks both of them. Does he get any value out of it? No, he gets no kills with those grenades, and not enough to be able to force anyone back, and instead will end up losing his head in that engagement. And this has been a great round for Fable Latam. Despite the pickups that Elevate have been able to make with the utility, they just have not been able to do all that much with it. And now we're in a spot where Elevate are not earning any points. Fable Latam have B and C control, and they are gaining on Elevate big time here.
So Elevate just needs to make sure that they can secure that home hill. They have nobody kind of sneak behind them and kind of take that from them, because the new boom shot is going to be up in 30 seconds. So when new boom comes up in 30 seconds, that's what they kind of got to play for. And if Fable Latam want to stay on this side of the map, let them, you know. They can get a power weapon, but it's just going to be nades. But also with the respawn timers being offset, you pick up the boom shot, you rotate it up top, you control the nades, control the 2-cap, close out that round. It's just, they need to make sure that they have somebody tracking those timers. So boom shot now gonna be up in 12 seconds, and you're gonna see Elevate, they're ready for it. They got a time. That's why Yogurt's down there with that Retro Lancer waiting to see if he's gonna be contested at all. Now boom shot 1 second away is there. So he's waiting for it, and you're gonna see the cavalry come for Fable. They see it. Question is, do they see Yogurt has a super aggressive push, maybe too aggressive.
And Yogurt just was not able to get a clean shot there onto the boom, and that is going to go to Fable. Once again, they managed to get possession of a vital weapon on this map.
It's not over yet, because I was just about to say the nades are going to be up. Domes hit those times because they were offset a little bit. So he's able to pick up those nades. Also, the 2-cap in favor of Elevate. Let's see what they're going to end up doing with it. They're going to need the trip cap at this point, though.
Crushmo waiting around.
Let's go to Domes. Let's actually go on board with Domes, because he got to throw some good nades.
Yeah.
He needs to throw some great nades, and he's pushing towards the spawn.
I don't know how I necessarily feel about this. Chucks one willy-nilly. He doesn't get much out of that.
He's fighting for the angle.
Yeah.
And he has 3 players with him. Still has 1 more nade in hand, but now he's drawing some fire. But the question is there any pressure off the front? It don't even matter, because Lyrics gonna make quick work of them. Also, that boom still in the hand of Audens. I wanted to see them kind of use those nades on the front end to kind of, you know, force off a few of those players that was going to be camping in that hut. Yeah.
There's so much space for him to move around there, right?
Yep, and definitely a lot of space for him in that one. But in this, just 3 more points needed for Fable Latam, and they're going to tie this one up 2-2. But they know it's going to be a dogfight. You know, they're playing from behind. It's a lot of work that they need to get done, so they're not going to get too excited.
Good comeback here by Fable Latam. If you're just joining us, Elevate are up 1-0 here. They did manage to win their first game on Impact 7-4 here in San Diego. Both of these teams will be taking a trip to the losers bracket, but this matchup is to determine what place in that losers bracket they're going to sit. Fable Latam want to make this journey a little bit easier for them, and they're coming off of big wins in that open bracket. They want to prove that they belong here in the pool play.
Yeah, I was going to say, if I'm Fable Latam, at first I was going to say Botox up top in the dual spots, but instead it's going to be Hammer Burst. Still respect it. To have Botox and Retro on a map like this, that's a lot of damage able to be put out from both sides, because it's going to be, you know, each team will be able to, you know, have their chance at getting those secondary weapons. But in this one, that opening initial, going in favor of Elevate, the boom's still there, but they know it's being watched by that Retro, so in that situation, you have one teammate pick it up, the other teammate kind of stand in front, take damage as you kind of escape. And Crushmo, he will get revenge for his teammate. He needs to make sure he saves his boom to make sure his team regains control over that B hill.
Here comes the potential retake opportunity here. He's going to work with Yogurt. Has the boom shot. 2 players in front, but he's going to go down.
He didn't get a chance to shoot it at all.
He got melted, and I believe that was that Hammer Burst that just...
No, it was a Retro Lancer.
Oh, it was a Retro. Yeah. Okay, so that, yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right? It just dominated him. He was not able to get anything out of that, but they are able to retake the boom, and it was just shot, so there you have it.
That's still a situation in which you don't need to shoot a boom. It's a 2v1. You know this guy is running, okay? Let him run. All right, let him lead you to the rest of the flock. Okay, then you get a nice little multi-kill with that boom shot as he's running away, but didn't have to be eager to shoot that one.
Yeah, I mean, oftentimes though, players, they just get a little bit antsy with that weapon, right? You have a weapon with so much value that it just oftentimes kind of gets in people's heads here. But now Hez is going to be moving in. He's going to have his teammate Dones there for support as well. And this is going to be Elevate controlling the home of Fable Latam. One player is going to be left alive. That will be Autumn's there, who's managing to stay alive, but does go down. Rocher, you going to be able to do it? Chunks one, but two members of Elevate are going to be too strong for Fable Latam to deal with.
All right. Elevate gets another one on the board. So we only have one weapon slot left, and it's going to be mid-map. That's typically going to end up being a block. Block, maybe nades, you know? We'll see what gets put down. But in this one, you can just kind of see the emotion all over Rocher's face, you know? He wants him to kind of get something going because you recognize, like, you know, if we lose this one and we actually do, you know, not win a single game in pools, that's going to, you know, do something to your team's confidence. You know, it's just like, all right, well, you know, you got to go back to the drawing board, but you also got to go right back to the loser's bracket. But hopefully in loser's bracket, you can get those wins that you need for your team to kind of feel like themselves, you know?
By the way, can we bring up the scoreboard real fast? I need to, yeah, prospect, by the way. I mean, I think we here on the desk said it best, not looking like the prospect today.
He got 7 downs, though. That's a lot of 7 downs.
We're 5.
No kills, though. You're right. He ain't got no kills.
At least give me a breadstick. Don't give me some donuts, like, or a flat line.
A breadstick with the 7 downs. You know, 7 downs, 9 deaths. You know, we don't know how many of those downs are revives or if they just, you know, his teammates cleaning up all his kills, but that's why in the future I hope we get those support stats and those damage stats. So because he might have the most damage being output on his team with those support, with those secondary weapons, with his lancers and his retros, just using and also Prospect has that retro lancer, so that's him, you know, getting that retro lancer off the rip and just securing those downs for his team. No kills, but still contributing to the production.
I like how you are keeping a positive mentality on the situation, and I'm just here in being just controversial, you know.
But if he would have had like 3 downs, I would have been on that train with you.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, if he would have had 3, I would have been on that train with you. Like, come on, the 3 downs, that's not acceptable. You're this far in, but just because it was 7, I don't know.
You'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
I give him the benefit of the doubt that his teammates are just taking his kills.
Oh, Lyrics, he was trying to bop around the bowl over there, but ended up getting stopped by Heza. Now, with 2 players down here, or actually 3 players down for Elevate and 4 players down. It's all going to come down to Relames. So try and keep this one going. Firearm's going to be in his face now. They're going to stop the cap, or they're going to stop the control on C. He should have teammates to be able to support him despite him being picked up. Autins is going to move in alongside with Prospect, and that is going to stop the bleeding.
And stop that domination as well. So they're going to secure their home hill once again. So now we got to recognize those retro lancers, they spawn up every minute and 30 seconds. Boom shots 2 minutes. Nades are going to be 2 minutes. Hammer burst is a minute and 30 seconds as well. We're about halfway into this round, so those next set of weapons across the board are going to be coming up. And I feel like both teams have already kind of secured those retro lancers. I see a retro lancer on both sides. I see hammer burst utilized on both sides as well. Now they're fighting for position on the boom shot. Rocher looking to get in, but he's going to get peppered up a little bit, forcing to back up, looking for the angles. Now this is a good angle. He just needs to get in there, try to connect with these shots on Yogurt, but Yogurt, he was waiting. He was ready.
He was ready for him to come around the corner and challenge. No one's going to be hanging out by B, so that means we're going to go to where the action is. Now over to Autens, who's now the last man standing. Does he do this? Oh, spoke too soon. A headshot is just going to send him right back to the drawing board, and this is looking like domination here.
This is looking good. At first, I was going to say, I was looking at all the blue dots, and I saw 2 blue dots going up top for that B hill. I'm like, you don't need that, okay? One guy goes up there, everybody else stacks on your opponent's home hill with the power weapon. You're good. You'll close that round out. But in this one, it's Elevate who takes the lead 4-2 at the half. So all those power weapons will get wiped, but in the second half, we will have that neutral hill down low where that boom shot was located. So we're still going to see that barn fight set up like a 4v4 fight as well. And that's the beauty about having that boom shot in barn on the first half, is that you get more looks at your opponent. So when you get into these late game situations, you already know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
You already know where the smokes are coming from. You already know how they rotate. So now you're able to make a little bit, some better adjustments if need be.
Hey, you know exactly how they're going to approach this next fight. Autzins, though, ends up losing his face. Actually, it's going to be a trade, so now even keel here as Rocher and Relames are going to also get stopped as well, and now we have ourselves a Fable situation where maybe this is the look that they needed, right? Maybe this is just the opportunity to be able to come back into this one, but it's going to be very tough against this Elevate roster, who in that last game on Impact managed to heat up at the half there. You got to wonder if that is going to be the same thing, if history is going to repeat itself. They only need 3 rounds to win this one, move on.
Yeah, you know what? Elevate, they're looking way more comfortable on Reclaim than they did on Impact. Elevate, you know, like Hesitation said, hey, Fable Latam, this is a team that we feel like, you know, we're going to go in there, practice some stuff, get back to our flow, you know, just kind of underestimating them. And you're going to have, as a team, you're going to have a few teams out there that you feel that way about. That's just like, all right, this is going to always be a free win, no matter what it is. So it's just showing that having that confidence, it translates, it just makes it easier across the board. Because even if Fable Latam chain together 2 rounds, in the back of Elevate's head, they're like, it's cool. You know, we're going to bounce back on them. That's why you haven't seen Elevate get too happy even on the rounds that they won, or, you know, get too upset on the rounds that they lost. They kind of been neutral with their emotions because they have no plan whatsoever on losing this series.
Do want to commend Fable Latam on how they were able to push back Elevate there and reclaim E. But now, though, here comes the push from Elevate for the home side of Fable Latam. Crushmo on your screen, 16 kills in this, 12 deaths as well, but make that 13 as he gets cleaned up by Lyrics. Firearm with a follow-up there and gets a double of his own. Downed in turn, but Yogurt around the corner, and just a lot of answer backs here.
Yeah,
we'll be able to get D, but now there's going to be another player on the push-up, and Autzins once again. Every time we go to Autzins, man, he's making
something happen. So with these respawn timers being back down to 12 seconds, you know, it's showing me that Fable Latam on these scrappier fights, they're playing a little bit better, but it's still an opportunity for them to lose this big lead and still lose this round. It's almost like Elevate, you know, they're like, all right, I got this guy, that's 2 down, that's 3 down. I know where the last 2 are. Once everybody's on the same page, it's going to be hard to stop them because you see they recognize that, hey, all players to the home hill. Let's get all personnel. Let's get in here. Most importantly, it's just decap. You don't have to win a fight. You just need to decap and back up, right? Because at that point, it's 2 hills to 0. You're cutting that lead. And as you see in this one, Domes looking to get in, helping his teammate. He's gonna not do too much helping Firearm with that team kill, but he will retaliate and take down Relames. And there's Heza taking down Prospect.
Good
domination
support.
Coming through.
Good support there from Elevate. That fight was drawn out. They forced him back. The smoke forced him back by the steps. A lot of Nasher spam through the smoke, just really trying to disorient Fable Latam. That ended up leading to Elevate taking that round, and very well done as we prepare for this next one. Let's see where the weapons are going to be placed.
And you can kind of see the emotion on Rocher's face too, because it's like we had a big lead. They should have had that one, you know, and it got taken right under their noses. So now Fable Latam gotta, you know, they gotta tough it up and try to close this one out. But Elevate just 2 rounds away from getting their first win of Gear San Diego.
And it's sigh of relief. The boom shot's gonna go down over by the neutral on E, which is what we saw in the previous half. Now we're gonna get that plus the hill take, so that's gonna put that much more value down low here in the barn.
So Boom got quick pick. You see that player rolling out with it. Is going to be in the hands of Autzins as well. So he's got this Boom and he's rotated all the way up top, trying to possibly kill some of these players from Elevate who's being super aggressive. But Firearm, you see just how sneaky he was, how he played his life. Just wants to get behind enemy lines. And he might not even decap this right away. There you go. Wait to the last minute where you see your opponent steps on that hill. So it's like, all right, you know, I got the sneak decap, just gonna stay alive. He's just trying, he's upset they didn't cap that now. It's to stay alive, can't do it.
Yeah, he won't be able to keep himself alive for too long here. Maybe some teammates are going to be able to get back the home for Elevate. as the domination is being denied, and that's exactly that. Just buying that time, drawing some attention back, little things like that can really help your team out. Just a heads-up play by Firearm, despite, you know, not maybe getting any kills out of that one. He just drew attention to himself, because for all intents and purposes, if you are Fable Latam, you're thinking, oh yeah, this is it. This is a clean sweep. And then out of nowhere, you start seeing your home being taken away, and there's just not much you're going to be able to do here. A couple members will be down for Fable Latam. The Lancer spam is very strong. 2 players down now, as a matter of fact, with a couple more that are going to be weakened. And Elevate are running through Fable Latam, and now they just need to take advantage of these opportunities here, put some smokes, get some stuns out, and create some disruption.
And here's the domination coming through for Elevate to go to match point. That's 3 members down on the side of Fable Latam. 4, 5. Oh. Nope, still 4.
Uh-oh, this is not looking good. You're gonna have to bring him back, which means you're gonna have to re-engage into that 2v2. Now 3 with a teammate there for some coverage. You know, players are gonna be coming off of the respawn here, and that slight flub could have been a big deal there. Prospect picks up 2. Now he's looking like the player you wanna watch. And we're right back into this one here. I will say, that team kill, not the best time for that to happen there, Blaze.
Definitely not the best time at all, but you look at the situation of this series, if you're a Fable Latam fan, they survived that. It was a tie game. Also, it's 5-2 on a scoreboard. All right, that's still a lot of momentum. You tie this up 5-3. If you felt like you were down in this one, you have to just come back into it because it's still a very, very winnable game for Fable Latam to force that map 3. And that's a good way to get some momentum.
Yeah, very true, very true. And who knows, that could have been the tone changer of the match. Still though, Elevate will be able to win off of points if it keeps going like this. Granted though, you have a cleanup that you have to happen on the home side, which is what Crushmo and Yogurt managed to accomplish. Players are forced back in their home, and now you go into a match point situation here, and pressure is on for Fable Latam. Only a couple points remaining till you get to that magical 210 mark. You're not earning any more points, and that is going to be it. You win by points. Now you're at match point. Fable Latam had a moment. They had a moment where they could have come back. They could have capitalized on a mistake that Elevate made.
A slight moment, a slight small moment in that one. Now they have to, you know, come back at a 6-2 deficit.
It's very hard to do.
And that's gonna be very difficult, especially, you know, after losing that first map. Now you just kind of see that they're defeated. You know, it's a ticking clock. But if they can chain together a few more rounds, maybe they will have that confidence, momentum to end it. But with the power weapons that's on the map, now it's just Elevate one team fight away.
Options has been having a great game on Fable Latam's side. Prospect, though, still struggling a little bit there, but luckily for him, Autens is picking up a lot of slack, especially on these initial fights. He's been winning a lot of them. He's also been just sneaking out, getting the boom when it was necessary. Lyrics and Rocher able to get a couple kills now, and that's gonna just push back Elevate here, as you can see. Rocher gets picked up, but that is actually gonna be Yogurt with a double kill, and Hessa gets another one for his efforts as well, and 4 players down. This is looking like it's curtains for Fable Latam. Lyrics knows that is just not gonna be a successful play. They have pushed in entirely. You have players that are trying to scramble into the home here. This fight is gonna be very scrappy. Here come the stuns, the smokes as well. Domination denied. Maybe you're able to stay alive, but you're constantly playing off the back foot like this. 2 players are gonna be right in front. Rocher having to back away. Hessa actually ends up taking out his own teammate with that boom shot.
We'll see how many more he has left in that chamber. He's slowly trying to creep up. Has 2 players in his fight line. So, yep, 1 more in that chamber. Just get in and touch it. You'll be okay. You got to shoot at least past him on that one.
Yeah.
But he didn't have no help. I don't know if he maybe thought Domes was a little bit closer. Looks like Domes was kind of taking some shots there in the back. But you just see how powerful that Boltok is, right? You get hit with 1 bullet on that one. You just got to change directions or just stay aggressive and try to get a one shot and hope your opponent misses another Boltok. But Fable Latam, they're being aggressors, fighting for that home hill setup.
I mean, look, to be frank, that looked like it was over. That looked like Elevate, we're going to end this game. They were going to win 2-0, and that was it. Fable...
Just like the previous round.
Exactly. Fable have been given opportunities because Elevate have made mistakes. Fable, though, have just not been able to capitalize on said mistakes. That is something that honestly I'm very shocked with. Now that these players are down,
The real thing is that Fable Latam needs to make their own opportunities. Okay?
that's true. You can't rely on the mistakes that happen, and then when they do, you don't do anything with them.
Yeah. So that means you just got to be aggressive, take as many fights as you can. Even if the fights, if it's the perfect play, go for it, even if you lose it. All right? You're going to win more fights. The more fights you take, the more fights you win, G.
Got to shoot the shots.
You do. It's as
That's
simple
it.
as that.
Gotta
So
make out.
looking like this one may just come down to time in the end. 25 points, 35 points away from winning is going to be Elevate.
Relame's trying to stay up. He's pushed around the corner, but Crushmo there in Firearm. Get 3 on the board.
And a
Jones
ball.
also. And that is basically going to be a wrap here. I mean, yeah, sure, you can rotate around to D, but it's really going to be all for naught. The time is simply not on Fable Latam's side. Elevate are able to leave pools with a game 1.
Wow.
No sweep here,
Yeah.
no 0-3, but still though.
No 0-3 for them. They get their first win of their tournament.
It's got to
Now
be a
they-
little critical though, man.
Exactly. Now they got to go through that losers bracket run. You know, this Fable Latam team, they got a further losers bracket run to make. But, you know, both these teams, we'll see how far they can make it, and we'll see if we'll be cast another game of theirs on this main stage later on in the weekend.
In order for that to happen, we're going to need to see a little bit more from Elevate. I mean, Elevate, we saw nothing but, you know, basic gameplay. Nothing too special here that really wowed us, but congrats for their 2-0 win over this Fable
And a lot of
team.
mistakes.
A lot of mistakes. It was really sloppy. So in order for them to really make this run in their new bracket, they're really going to have to pull something out of the bag.
Do you think the mistakes were because they were taking it a little casually, or
Oh, no.
because
I think I agree.